Welcome to QA Cops, Cops Supporting Gun Rights. My name is Keith. In this episode, I'm going to address some common comments that we get in every video we post. A lot of people bring up some valid points. Some of them are not valid. Some of them are just funny on a cop side, but I want to address them because I think it's important because you guys keep bringing it up. So we're going to talk about it. If you like our content, if you like hearing about cops supporting the Second Amendment, hit that subscribe button, hit follow, like, leave a comment. We obviously read the comments because I'm bringing a lot of comments up today. So let us know what you think and share it with your friends. We need more people to know about us. So we're about to hit that 50,000 mark, be our 50,000th person. One of the most common ones I get have to do with cops, the Second Amendment, and our paycheck. All right, so I'm going to read you two of them because I think they are kind of representative of what everybody thinks. Not everybody, but a lot of people. So this came from the one where we did the poll, where we talked about how 100% of cops supported the Second Amendment, and we talked about what they thought about the Second Amendment in general, and had some good comments from cops. These comments came from that. So this person says, "You did not ask the right question. The right question is, when the state becomes so tyrannical that they threaten your paycheck pension if you do not participate in a mandated confiscation, what will you do? Then and only then will we know who is who." Now, when the state becomes tyrannical, we're already there, buddy. I'm not sure what you're waiting for, but hold on. I'll address that in a second. Another person said pretty much the same thing. "We'll see how pro-gun the LEO community is when their jobs are on the line and their mortgage payments due. I think it's going to be roughly 50-50 who would actually enforce these policies. Even though some of these are technically pro-gun, they'll be accepting any justification fed to them by policymakers when the directives come down." 50-50, that's pretty, you got a solid number down. All right, let's talk about that. People threatening our paycheck and us enforcing the Second Amendment, we're going to seize your guns because we're going to save our paycheck. Have you looked at our paycheck? It's fucking horrible. All right. It's a crime how much we pay cops. Yes, cops in California make a lot of money. When you're out of California, they make crap. Cops in my area start out at $20 an hour. They can make more at McDonald's. So it's not the paycheck. Okay. Next up is your pension. No, you guys did a pretty good job. You guys, meaning the public, did a really good job of decimating our pension. Pretty much nobody has a pension anymore. Those that are lucky enough to have a pension, it's horrible. And it's not like what you think it is. Most every cop has their foot out the door because the job is so fucking miserable. Why is it miserable? Because the left and the right have both made it miserable for cops. There's no reason to do the job anymore. It used to be honorable where we would go out and help people and you feel good about it. But even when you're helping somebody's there with a camera in your face, passing judgment on how good of a job you're doing. It's horrible. Everybody's looking for a way out. There's nobody that's staying. The recruiting problem is horrible. We can't recruit anybody. We're hiring people that we never would have hired 10 years ago. Why? Because we can't get good applicants to apply anymore. The worst problem is retention. I'm one of the people that left. Look, I was a cop. I did do 30 years. I could have done more, but I had my out and I took it. Why? Because I saw what was coming. And man, it was smart because 2020 happened right after I left. Look, defund the police didn't work. But you know what did work? Making it so miserable for everybody, they're looking for a reason to get out the door. And it's comments like this that helps push people out the door. You're part of the problem. You are. And you need to accept that. You've fallen in line with the left in making this job miserable. We used to rely on the right to help us through tough times, and you guys abandoned us and you left us hanging. Just because you see some video that the press is feeding to you, you somehow think that represents all of the United States. That's not the way it really is. So when you say the cops are going to come seize my guns to save that paycheck, that sweet paycheck that pays so much money, yeah, man, it's not like that. So that's kind of an invalid comment. And honestly, all cops laugh when we read that. We laugh because if we did pay that much money to where we were willing to go out and risk seizing everybody's guns and getting in gunfights for seizing everybody's guns and violating everybody's rights, we'd have more people lining up at the door to get that sweet paycheck that you think we get. All right, enough of that. Another comment. This one's really good. I think this is valid. All right, so I really wish I could believe your poll and channel. I don't know how much you get this, but all I can think about is Hurricane Katrina, which to me cancels out what you say. You know, the whole actions speak louder than words thing. Full disclosure, I haven't researched this, and that's the problem. People haven't researched, but I did see the NRA video, and I know there is a book out there Keep up the good work. That's actually a valid point because the press really pushed out the whole Katrina thing where, and there was, if I remember right, and I'm actually going to do a video just on this Katrina incident because I'm interested. So I put a call out to a bunch of cops in that area asking if they would talk to me so we can get more information about Katrina. But Katrina, it was one area, one small area, and the cops did fall in line, and it was horrible. But let's talk about that. New Orleans PD, hey man, if you work for New Orleans PD, I'm sorry, go find a better place to work. NOPD is probably one of the most corrupt police agencies in the United States. They routinely hire horrible cops. Are there good cops there? Oh, absolutely. There's some great guys there, and I've met them before. They're awesome. But as a whole, it's a corrupt department with corrupt leadership. And that's not the department you want to hang your hat on for representing the rest of the United States. I think Katrina actually galvanized cops around the country to be a little bit stronger towards the 2A, because when that happened, I mean, look, man, I was a cop in the San Francisco Bay Area. And when I saw the news putting that out, I looked at that and went, what the f are they doing? And I'm in the most liberal county in America. Okay. All cops had questions about that. And it turns out to be a very small sliver, which is enough. Valid. Okay. So I know you guys are going to correct me in the comments, but look, that was horrible, but I think it actually did the opposite. I think it galvanized a lot of officers to be like, no, man, like, we're not going to let that happen. So personally, having that happen, I think it just made it stronger for us to avoid something like that in the future. There was also, what you guys don't see, is a lot of articles that came out after that, like, just like any other profession, we have our own magazines and newsletters and newspapers and stuff like that. I produce a news periodical for cops in my realm of expertise that gets seen by 13,000 people gets sent to 13,000 people every day. With that said, there were a lot of articles that came out talking about that and how wrong it was. So could it happen again? Well, yeah, man, I can't sit here and tell you it'll never happen again. I am merely telling you, every cop that I talk to, and the other thing is, people say, well, I'd like to believe you, but man, I worked for, my jury pool was Oakland and Berkeley. It doesn't get more communist than that. All the cops I worked with, except for one, was a Republican and was hardcore conservative. I just don't see it happening. Even the one liberal guy that we worked with, he wasn't about to go do that stuff. So it's a valid point. I think we're going to do a whole separate video on Katrina once I interview a couple more cops and get some more information, because I think it's pretty important to talk about. And it's a valid point. I get what you're saying. You know, I'm with you. I don't like it either. This is a good one that comes up a lot. Local officers who work on federal task forces such as the AFT are beholden to their commanders' paychecks and pensions. There we are with paychecks and pensions again. Man, how much money do you think we actually make? They are not beholden to the citizens. It's one thing to answer a poll question, and quite another when it comes to nut cutting. I haven't heard the phrase nut cutting before. It sounds oddly weird. All right. Anyways, let's talk about those guys that are on the task forces. I addressed this in one of my prior videos. I got friends that are on ATF task forces that were going after hardcore criminals, right? Very bad people. And the minute they started doing this stuff, like I did the video earlier, what happens when the ATF comes to your door and how to handle that. When they started going door to door doing stuff like that, a lot of my friends quit, and a lot of cops quit. And they quit in their resignation letters. It specifically said why they were leaving, and they weren't holding back. I'm seeing this. I'm talking to people that are doing it. I'm seeing people leave. I'm talking to people that are leaving. You aren't, but you're still going to go in there in comments and say, what happens when this happens? It's already happening, and guys are already leaving and they're already quitting. So I don't know what to tell you. You could either believe a guy in the comments that has never talked to anybody in that position and they're just guessing, right? Some of your guys' imaginations go wild, but I get it. I get why it goes wild, because the government has made it that way for us. So that's where we are. Just know that guys are quitting these these ATF task forces because they don't like what's going on. I just talked to one before I got on and did this video because I read that comment to him and he laughed. He laughed at that guy's comment and he's like, so I quit for nothing? You know, he's like, I quit, and like, cops don't have the First Amendment right. They can't like proclaim from the top of the mountain, I quit because the ATF. They can't say that. And you don't want them to either. Just know it's happening. Here's the last one I'm going to comment on. I'm just hoping that these particular officers will side with the people when and if the gov will go after its citizens. I got news for you. They're already going after the citizens, but okay. I believe a good number will, because they also have families and are contributing members of their communities. He's right in one respect. We're members of the community. We're all gun owners. We all have the same issues. I've been pretty clear about where cops stand. I am training in the hundreds of cops every week that I get to talk to all these cops. And I get to hear what their perspectives are. And it hasn't been like this 50-50 thing. All of them sound like you. They're all mad like you. But the problem is they can't comment on our comments, because if they even like, guys are getting fired for liking a meme that they see on social media. They're getting fired for liking a comment. They're getting fired for making a comment, for making a meme, for doing any of this. They don't have a First Amendment right. They can't speak up. That's why I'm speaking up. I will never be in law enforcement again. I will never be a cop again. I'm done. And so I'm speaking out because I can, and I am. All right. That's all I've got for now. I just want to address those common things that people say in comments. With that said, this weekend, this Saturday, I'm going to be at Double Tap Range in southern Idaho. Boise Black Rifle is having a get together at the Double Tap Range, where they're bringing in vendors, JK, silencers are going to be there. I mean, pretty much all the big name gun reps are going to be there. We're going to have full auto range. We're going to be doing some other stuff. I'll probably be running one of the ranges. I'll be down there with Matt. Feel free to stop in and see us. We'll be there starting at I don't know what time they actually open it up. I'll be down there early in the morning. I'll be there most of the day. Come say hi. Let me know what you think about the channel. That's all I got for now. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, comment, like, all that good stuff. You guys take care. Remember your ABCs. Always be caring.